Okay, well, thank you for joining me. Welcome to our daily market review and analysis. We hope to cover the US dollar pairs today, but in particular, we want to try and ensure that we are on the correct side of the market and are not completely um, positioned in a wrong direction or with a wrong expectation, certainly for the next week, because lots seem to have happened and there seem to be a lot of confusion as well. So let us start with the uh, Dow Jones Industrial. Now, on the Dow Jones Industrial, we don't seem to have a clear uh, wave as we normally would expect. And also, the other thing I have noticed today and in the last few days is the normal correlation we have between the equity index and dollar index uh, also seem to be out of sync. For example, in general, when we have the equity rising, we expect the dollar index to be coming down. That doesn't appear to be the case, uh, either because the market is just volatile and is just ranging sideways, or temporarily it seems to have got out of sync. It will fall back into sync in time to come, but for the time being, we might not be able to get a clear direction by looking at the equity index and other similar correlation market. However, if we look at this daily chart here, then to me it looks like we started off from the low here back in November, and that is clearly a wave 1 and wave 2. Then I think what we've done here is put a top in for wave 3. I don't think that is the top of the market. I think that's wave 3. And just casually glancing your eyes, you can see this gap up here is a part of wave 1 and wave 2, and then up to where we have this like a rising wedge or a contracting triangle, that is a minor wave 3. Then we retraced down for minor wave 4 and possibly just completed a minor wave 5. So that would mean that the wave 1, wave 2 and wave 3 now could well be complete. And this is how it happened. So after the minor wedge broken here, that's a minor 3. Then we had possibly A, B, C down here for minor 4, and then this thrust up is a minor 5. So that completed a wave 3. Then I think we had a wave A down, and we had an expanded triangle as a wave B, and we should now really be looking for a decline into this wave 4. And you can see in the 4-hour chart over the last couple of days, we've had a market where suddenly one day we had a major sell-off, and then we started off whereby we've had, it looks like a 5 wave, but I don't think it's a 5 wave, and I tried to explain that yesterday. This, what I have here in green, you see, if you were to count that as a wave 1, you'd have to say this here is a 1, 2, and then you got another one here, so that would be part of the next leg. So it doesn't look like it's an impulsive leg. I think what we've got here is possibly A, B and C to give us a small wave A. Then we've had a retracement wave B, and then possibly A 1, 2, 3, 4 and 5 as a wave C, so like an expanded flat. So we should be, if it's an expanded flat, then we've had ABC down, and we've got an expanded flat with another ABC zigzag up. So we should really be making our way to the downside, and doing so most likely in a 5 wave development. And when I look at what happened today, it really throws you out completely. There is no way of knowing exactly what's happened here. I mean, the market sort of opened and sold off very heavily, and then by the day was over, it almost reclaimed back again. um, you know, I mean, there were some news releases in terms of the economic data, whether they were responsible, or whether in fact we've had a situation where uh, these business of setting the budget and the sequential they're talking about, where if the agreement was not reached, I think by tonight midnight, that there would be some automatic budget cuts that would be set in motion, and whether because of that there were a lot of participants in the market not knowing which way things are going, and so they've had a possible buy and a sell or something. But I'm really wondering why we've had a market do what it's doing, because to me that suggests a lot of uncertainty. Selling off like that and almost setting back up next day, and then again, like today, we've had a situation where we sold off heavily and we've almost closed back into slight positive. So that is a great degree of uncertainty, I think. The only thing we can do is up until this wave here, and I will put a little arrow in there if I can. So up to here, I think we are okay, in a sense that arrow, that one up to there, I think we are okay in our terms of wave count, because we finished up -3. We had a B C down here as -4, and then we finished this one up with a 5 wave. So we brought that one to this wave 3 here. Okay, so that I think is okay. After that, when I look at that in smaller time scale, 15 minutes, then what it looks like to me is this wave here up to here is possibly part of the first sequence. So we'll call that one wave, this one in brown here is possibly wave A. Then we had the retracement wave B, and then we had the C, which appears to be in a 5 way, in the sense of 1, 2, 3, 4 and 5, I think. So that is definitely not an impulsive leg. So that must be an ABC. If that's an ABC, then ordinarily we would apply this label here, wave A. So then what we expect normally is a partial retracement. So we would expect a fib retracement like so, and we could have a deeper retracement, but in general we would be looking for common thing like 50% or 61.8%, or maybe even like 78% or 88%. But in this case we seem to have gone well past that. So if we've gone well past that, then one wonders, is this A or is it wave 4, like so? Because if this is 3 and this is 4, then this could well be wave 5. If we were to consider this wave 5, then I would have trouble in identifying what that wave 5 is. So from here to there, I think that's fairly clear. Working backward is fairly clear, is that this one could be the last final piece of the of this cycle here. So from here we got 1, 2, 3, 4 and 5. I think that is quite clear. And then to go with that, this is the wave 3 and this is wave 5. So with that we've got a diversion to confirm that that is the wave 5, which is normally by loss of momentum compared with the momentum of wave 3. So I think that part is okay. So if anything, the question would arise for this area here as to just exactly what that is. So I will try and see if I can focus on just that. I'll drop it down to 5 minutes and let me see. Okay, so basically we're looking at this area here. Okay, so we're looking at an area basically from there to here. So if we were to assume that market started off here, then you probably go small minor 1, minor 2, this here possibly 3, 4 and 5. So maybe we'll say that this entire sequence here is possibly small 1. Okay, ABC back. So if we were to say small 1, then maybe we would put something like this, minor 1, and then this here would be A, B and C as the minor 2. So now we would expect a wave 3. You see, so having done that minor 2, we'd expect a wave 3. Now where is wave 3? Because remember, we're only talking about up to here. So you see, when you look at this one, is overlapping this here. So I really don't think that this is an impulsive. I think this is more like a zigzag of some nature. So this could be, instead of being 1, this one here might be a minor A, this one here possibly minor B, and then this one here coming up as a minor C. You see, so this A, B and C. Now here we have a zigzag, whereas here we had a 5 wave. So normally if you get 5 wave into this one, then we would expect 5 wave into the second part. So maybe what this one is possibly this ABC A here. This one I think is definitely zigzag. So maybe this one is actually split in this way. Look, I think this one is split by saying this is small a, small b and small c. So we had a zigzag here, ABC retracement, and then ABC back up here, and that completed this first zigzag. So we would then call that wave A, wave B, and then subsequently we've had a 5 wave up. That's the only way I can see 5 wave up. And it doesn't complete, if we were to count anything here, it doesn't complete a larger 5 wave. So I think that's a zigzag, and even though we created a high, it is actually a wave B. I think I'm fairly comfortable with that. That is a wave B. So summarizing then is that we've had a wave 3 here, we've had a wave 4, not 4, but this one was actually a wave 1 here, ABC retracement wave B here, okay, and now we should be working on a wave C, or we might still be, so we've got ABC here, ABC back, see wave A, wave B, and we should be working on a wave C. And because this was zigzag and this is zigzag, we should be expecting 5 wave. So the only thing I can possibly think of in here is that this first drop, this drop is clearly 5 wave. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4 and 5. So if that's a clearly 5 wave, then this is a very strange looking, but it's like this, I think, right? And the way it is because this is wave 1 down, and then this is A, B and C. So again, just like here we had an expanded flat, I think we've got another expanded flat in this area. So if that interpretation is correct, and which we won't know it is correct, we need some price data. So only market opening on a Monday and developing some further price data, we won't know. But if we are correct, then I think we've got a wave 1 down, this expanded flat is a wave 2, and we would be expecting wave 3, for example, maybe small retracement, and then we should be expecting another leg down like that. So we'll be expecting 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Okay, so if you look at it on a hourly chart, then in doing that we should be able to come back to retest this low, or maybe make another minor lower low. If you see the Fibonacci of this entire swing, then 38% comes into this area around 13,600. So we could actually come into that. So that's what I'm expecting. I'm expecting next week equity market to, this whippiness we've had, we would find equity market sell off. If we don't get a sell off in a 5-wave down, then we have something unusual that I cannot get my head around it. We would not really know until we get another 1 or 2 days price data. And up to here I think I am fairly comfortable. Up to there I'm comfortable. That it has created or completed this wave 3, and we are in some kind of a process of retracing wave 4. The normal wave 4, you'll be expecting at least 38% retracement. If you get a shallow retracement, then even then about 23%. So that we're still looking for a retest of this 13,750 area, or 13,700 somewhere. So either there, either here, or lower down. That's what we're expecting. Okay, now we won't get another significant leg up until we come to that area. And you can see at the moment that brown line at the top, which is 14,200, that's just very tiny whisker above the 2007 high. 2007 high was 14,198 or something. So I don't think we will be able to actually significantly sell off until we've made a bottom and we've gone back and taken that out, because there'll be a lot of stops above that for anybody who is currently short in this area. They will put stop somewhere along up above there, and I think the strong hand will actually drive this market up to take out those stops before reverting back to the downside. So that's my expectation or theory, and we would know if my interpretation is correct if you get a decline in a 5-wave. So that decline might not happen in just one day, it might take few days. I think I'm expecting possibly best part of a week, probably just selling off, quite possibly. If we don't, then we will see on a Monday how that has changed in some way or another, because another expectation would be is that we have this expanded flat, but the expanded flat is probably not finished. If this is wave A and this one is wave B can also become like some strange kind of a triangle, like this, for example. Okay, so that would be another possibility, is that we would chop about in there quite viciously. Market coming down but diving back up, and coming back down. So in that case what we might have is this as the wave A, ABC down as the wave B. We would now do another ABC. So let me change the color of that one and make it green, just so that we have a possibility we could expect. So from here in the alternate would be this wave. This is A, this will be B, this will be A. Then in this part here we'll get a minor A, minor B, minor C, and basically they'll be all zigzag. There'll be ABC up, ABC down, ABC up. They'll be all like that. Minor C, minor D, and minor E, in some way like that. Okay, but it will be kind of a triangle. So what will then happen is a triangle happens in a wave B formation. So we've got wave A here, all of this mess will become wave B, and then we'll get a 5 wave to the downside. So that would be the other possibility, is that we will get a lot of chopping about, in which case we might spend the whole week chopping about in there, and then maybe later in the week or following week we'll get a sell-off. So first week in March we might chop about in here and then sell off. Maybe like Tuesday, Wednesday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday probably chop about and then sell off, or from next week we might simply start developing 5 wave to the downside. So those are two possible scenarios equity market could be looking to show us. If we look at the oil, I think we need to go back to a slightly larger time frame chart. I've taken a lot of the analysis off because I think something is happening with the oil, and I just wanted to cover that. And this might also explain to some extent why we're expecting sell-off in the equity market, whether we chop about and then sell off, or whether we start selling off next week. Because after this major decline, we bottomed and then we've been going up. And in that progression of price going up, this we had a first section here. And that first section is small a, small b, and small c. So that gave us a wave A. Then this one is a wave B. So ABC down is a wave B. And this entire leg, what I was hoping for is that it is part of like here we had a zigzag. Okay, so we had a zigzag here, wave A here, and then this one as a wave B, and this one here as a wave C. So we're looking at this on a weekly chart, but if we look at it on a daily chart, see this area here, you can see that we had high here, so we came down as a wave A, wave B, and wave C. Okay, it doesn't look to me that it is 5 wave. Now if it was 5 wave, it would be 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. So it is possible if it was 5, then maybe we've got this kind of a wave here, like that kind of a wave there. And if that's the case, then what we have possibly is this would be A, B, and C, and this would become X. Okay, so because this becomes a connecting wave, if this becomes a connecting wave, then we need, just like here we had A, B, and C, so we need another A, B, and C. Okay, so what I'm going to do now for the time being is I'm actually going to put this wave A here, wave B there, and this wave C I'm going to put it over here. And what that gives me is we can say either a wave A or W. Okay, now if it's W, it simply means it's a zigzag, and we may expect double or triple zigzag. Okay, if it is wave A, then that means that's a first zigzag. We get a retracement ABC, and we'll get another. So I think in this particular case, I would be looking at that being just W. So the W meaning that we had a first zigzag up, that's ABC up, and then this one is wave X. So it's a connecting wave. So first zigzag, connecting wave, and a second zigzag. Okay, so in a second zigzag, it looks like we've got a wave A here. So this one becomes a wave A. Then in that case, all of this becomes part of wave B. So if this is wave A, and what I'll do is I'll put that one, no, I'll leave it as wave A. So if that is wave A in blue, then this becomes wave B in blue. Now if this is wave B in blue, then so far we've got some kind of a triangle here, and in the triangle we have wave A down, B up, C down, and then this one here you can see it's an A because this is the leading diagonal, so we have A, B and C. That's why I put a D here. Okay, so this one here I'll take away. Okay, so we've got wave A in bracket, wave B in bracket, and each of these will be now zigzag. So this one here is a zigzag A in bracket, ABC up zigzag, wave B in bracket, ABC down as wave C in bracket, ABC up, wave D in bracket, and then we should expect ABC down for wave E in bracket. So we should, really speaking, get this kind of a thing, small retracement, and then eventually another leg down. So we've probably got first part of the leg almost complete, and we should be making this wave E here, and once all of that is finished, then we would expect that triangle to complete. So we'll have a wave A, triangle is wave B, and then we'll go off for the next leg up. Okay, and in terms of a next leg up, if for example I say this one here is what shall we say, we'll give it we'll keep it green color. So if this is wave A, then wave B from here, not sure exactly where you would put it, you would put it from here or from there. It will make a small difference, not a massive difference. If you put it here and simply forget about the Elliott wave, but just do normal geometry where you have AB equals CD kind of a leg, we'll be looking for oil going to about 120. Okay, but I don't think we're going to get there right away. I think we're going to come back down to test this lower area, and in doing that it will form this kind of a triangle. I think that's what we are now expecting here. If you look at the RSI, then in the RSI you can see we're coming very close to the rising trend line, and we haven't actually completed the wave or got any support in there. So I think what is going to happen is that as it drops down, we will probably break below that rising minor trend line, I think, on the RSI. Okay, so we're going to break below that, and in terms of the price, we'll do this ABC down. So if you now drop down to daily chart, and we've just confirmed that we've had this one here as a C. Okay, so we've had this rising wedge as a wave A, ABC down back as a wave B, and we finished up with the top here as a wave C. Okay, so if that's the case, then that's wave D in bracket. So now we should expect a zigzag down, so possibly like a 5 wave down. So in a 5 wave formation, this is the highest high, so we may have this possibly as a wave A, and then so we've had a wave A, then we retrace into a wave B, and we should be now doing 5 wave cycle to the downside. So we've got 1, 2, 3, 4 and 5, and if you look at it on the RSI, we've got no real divergence yet on the daily. But if I drop down to 4 hour, you can see on a 4 hour we've started showing divergence between this sequence here. So I think what we've got here is this one coming down as a wave A that I was saying previously is the wave A, ABC back up as a expanded flat wave B, and then we've got 1, 2, 3, 4 and 5, and in the 5 we've got 1, 2, 3, 4 and 5. So in other words, in the last one we'd be expecting a little bit like this, a little bit like that. Okay, so that would complete the first zigzag down, after which we would then expect a retracement to the upside, which will be in the form of a ABC. So it'll be A, for example, B and C, like that. Okay, and then we'd expect another drop down. So that first zigzag will complete, ABC retracement like this one here, and then another drop down. When I've drawn it over here, it looks rather small, but you have to remember that it's a daily chart. I was doing that on a small time frame chart, but in essence, I think let me take these off before I confuse you now. Okay, so what I'm expecting is I'm expecting a small up thrust, small bounce, and then another small little leg down. So that would happen early part of the week probably. Okay, so once we've done that, then we would have had this here, that part. Okay, then we would expect some kind of a retracement which would be something like that, and then we would have this final leg coming down in this manner. So that would suggest a fair bit of weakness in the oil prices to come. Okay, and once it's done, then we'll be looking for prices breaking to the upside. So we are developing this kind of a triangle, and then we'll look for prices going up. So we are looking for now a potential prices coming back to about 81 or so. And if we were to draw a triangle here, I'm not sure that will actually play out. If we were to draw it there, then we've got from the low here, we've got low here, then we have wave A, B, and it doesn't make sense. So I think this is not gonna work. This, even though this trend line might actually work in a sense of providing short-term support here, it will only be a bounce eventually to be taken out. Okay, so I will leave that in for the time being. I will leave it in as a slightly thicker color, brown, but I think that is going to be only a minor support, and then it bounces back and then another leg down. Okay, so so I'm expecting, effectively I'm expecting like what I was saying, an overall triangle to complete this wave B. So we would expect a weakness in the oil for quite a while, because so far on this daily chart to form this wave A, we've been traveling from here, and so far we've come down, and it's taken us almost like a month, or will do by the time we form a bottom in there. It's taken us almost like a month. You can see if I measure this here from here, or even from there, it's taken us 18, so far it's taken us 2 weeks, but by the time it's finished it'll probably take us like 3 weeks. Then we'll have a retracement and probably another 3 weeks. So I think for the best part of a month of March, we will probably expect some weakness in the oil. And as far as the equity is concerned, equity will bounce back with the oil when the oil bounces back, and then equity might form intermediate or possible top, and we will then see equity and oil both sell off, or we might get small disconnect between oil and equity, whereas oil remains weak but the equity may still remain relatively strong. Okay, so there may be disconnect between the two. Okay, so that's that. So having considered that, I think the next thing to do is to go to the dollar index. Now in the dollar index, it has gone up much higher than we were expecting, and in fact it was almost, as I explained yesterday, that after the wave 3 we had wave 4, and this first leg up to me that would be very disproportionately small compared with the rest of the dimensions. So I did suggest that we might actually get a full 5-wave development as a part of the 5th wave to the upside. So instead of a top being formed around 82, now the top is likely to be formed at a higher level. So let me just show you now what I've done. I think putting a Fibonacci on this entire drop from the July high to September low, I think we've gone past the 61.8% retracement. So I think now the next level is 78.6%. So that will bring us to approximately 90 to 83, if you keep a whole number about 93. Okay, and at the moment I have no reason to believe that we are doing anything different than what I've just explained here, and which we have been following. Is that we had ABC down as quite a strong wave down, then we've done this flat, as you see in a schematic diagram here, is we had ABC up there to give us a wave A in bracket, then we had ABC down to give us wave B in bracket, so it's an expanded flat or a flat correction, and then in that case the wave C would have a 5 wave. So we've got a 5 wave in this one. So having that established, there are several Fibonacci projections. So for example, if I do a reverse projection of this one, then we have 161.8% extension coming into 83 area. If I do reverse projection of this leg, then the 200% comes into that area. So there's another area of significant Fibonacci confluences. And then in addition to that, the Elliott wave guidelines are that if we now project this wave 5, or rather this complete wave 3 from 4, then we should get some degree of indication where they are coming. So let me just show that now. I'll change the color of this one to I don't know, maybe turquoise color, aqua color. So this is what I'll do. I'll come up to wave 3 high and put it from the 4, and then the idea is that we won't get all these higher numbers. Idea is that we should get at least 50%. So let's see where 50% comes in. 50%. Okay, so the 50% comes in around 83 also. Okay, so that's quite interesting. And then on this final piece here, if I drop down to hourly, then I've done exactly the same with this final piece. So this final piece, if I'm projecting wave 1 from wave 2, then we could see possibly things running out on double. So I think 83 now looks like a key area where we would expect a possible top to form. And then in terms of the final leg up, we've got minor 1, minor 2, I think minor 3 with this inverted hammer, minor 3, we'll get a small sell-off like the one I'm suggesting here, and then we'll get one final leg up, and that I think could easily happen next week. So we'll get a full final leg up, and even if you get some other complex sideways movement, in other words, even if we expect a dollar index to be range bound in there for quite some time to come, this 83 I think is going to be an area where we will have an intermediate top, and then we would have had wave A, wave B, and we'll go into wave C, or we will have wave A, and then we would have had this one A, B, and C to give us a larger wave and some kind of a connecting wave, and then we will have another so in other words, if we were going to just continue sideways, which I don't think we will, but if we were to, then after this is finished, we will do a connecting wave, and I'll make the connecting wave look red. Okay, we'll do connecting wave, and then again we will go into some kind of a sideways zigzag, like that. and we might do something in this kind of a order. Okay, uh, just as a kind of an idea, that we've done a flat here. We've taken quite a bit of time, and that flat finish up here give us ABC zigzag. When we have a connecting wave, we do another ABC. Okay, now that is possible, and but it won't do it over here. We'll get this drive down, will come down here, then we'll get another ABC up. So we'll get very complicated sideway congestion, which would last us for maybe several months, because this from September we're talking about nearly 5 months so far. So if you get a connecting wave, that could take you a month maybe, or best part of 3-4 weeks, and then possibly another zigzag over here. So we could take quite a while if we were to get that. I don't think somehow we are. I think once this top is formed, we should be really moving down. But we'll keep in our mind that it is possible that will come down, but that would be a possible 5 wave, or it could be ABC, which would form this red connecting wave. So we'll call this one wave X, and then we'll get another ABC zigzag before. So we'll get a double ABC zigzag before the whole pattern is complete. But I don't think somehow that's going to happen, because see, on the longer term we've got this rising trend line from the bottom, and we also got a falling trend line from the top. And the way I've done this one is connecting on weekly chart, connecting this very high, which was back on 23rd of November, and then connecting this high, which is on 6th of June. And what we've got is that we've got a trend line, and we've connected that parallel trend line onto this in between but noticeable high, and it cuts across this one, but we see with the next one we come within it. So I think what's going to happen is by the time we finish this high being done at 83, we are going to be approximately within that trend line. See this trend line coming down. So by the time this 83 is done, the trend line passes. Where is the trend line passes? Trend line passes a little bit further up. Oh, this one here. Let me change the color of that one so we can see. I'll make that one brown. I'll make it thicker color. Okay, so it's coming into that area. So we would actually sort of just bump into the line, and I think that would complete. So we would not have a connecting wave X, but we would have a new wave to the downside. So that is my expectation on dollar index, and that would probably reflect on most of the currency pairs that we will now quickly look through. So let's go over some of the common US dollar pairs. So the first one US dollar pair we're going to look at is a dollar Swissy. Now the dollar Swissy is very interestingly, see this pitchfork that we applied some while back. We had this sliding parallel that defined the lower highs that price went into, and found that as a potential resistance. Now we've broken through that, and we've gone to the upper parallel of this falling pitchfork. Okay, and in terms of the overall decline, let me take some of these others away so we get some clarity in the chart. Okay, right, so we've got that, and then if we have a full retracement of the entire decline, then you can see that we've gone through 38%. We're going to be coming into 50%. Okay, so we're going to be coming into 50%, and that 50% mean is coming into the level there, which is around if you round it up, say call it 95. Okay, and 95 will be retesting this high here. So what it will have done is we would have had in here quite possibly wave 1, wave 2, wave 3, wave 4 and wave 5, and I think so we've got a 5-wave sequence possibly there, and we've gone back in an ABC form here, but if you also look at it, see, we might have this one as 1, 2, then 1, 2, 3, 4 and 5 possibly done over here. Then we've got wave A, not entirely sure because you see, if you look at the RSI has been diverging right from there all the way across, and we've created new high, and it may well be that whilst the dollar index has done a flat correction, here what we might have is, starting from there, we would have done ABC as an A, then ABC down as a B, and now coming back up for a wave C. So it's like an expanded flat, okay? And then in an expanded flat formation, we are currently we should have 5-wave. If you got an expanded flat, we should have 5-wave, but then I will struggle to actually put a 5-wave in there. I will struggle to put a 5-wave in there. If I was to treat this one as a possible rising wedge, to say that's a wave 1, wave 2, and then we've got wave 3, and in a wave 3 we've got 1, 2, 3, 4 and 5, so that would be wave 3, retracement 4, and then we're on a final blow off leg, but then our momentum doesn't seem to agree because the momentum is higher with the current leg. So the other way would be is that wave 1 and ABC is wave 2, and then no, I think we don't have a clear wave structure, so I don't think I will bother particularly. We are currently in a trend channel, and previously I was saying this is wave A, wave B, wave C, and we had WX, and we are going for Y. So really this one is supposed to be coming here, wave C. So I think in terms of the wave count, I think this particular chart is not very clear. There is a confusion in this area, and it may be what is got is a wave A down, wave A, B and C possibly, and then we are now going to get A, B and C because it is Swissy. So I'm not sure exactly how. I mean, it should really reflect pretty much what the dollar index is doing, but recently, as you know, from relationship between Swissy and Euro, is that they haven't been able to move in exact footstep, because whilst they've pegged it, there is actually a divergence even between Euro and Swissy. So we may have some kind of a different wave count here than what we normally would be looking for. We may even finish with this wave A, B and C, and now we're getting A, B and C back to the other side. It will remain to be seen. So I think in terms of waves, I'm not clear with this one, but what I am clear about is, forgetting the waves, is that we have retraced already 38%. The next one is 50%, and I think that will be significant because 50% previously on this side here we had a support, fallen below, came back and tested from underneath as a resistance. We're coming back up there a second time as a resistance. So if nothing else, you would expect some degree of weakness, even if it doesn't come all the way there, even if it sort of has a partial retracement and then try to form another leg up before coming down. Okay, so for the time being, I am expecting an intermediate top in this area, and in terms of the final piece of the jigsaw is that we had in this sequence here we got 1 2, this is 3, either done or will be done very soon. We'll get a small retracement and then we will get one final move up. So then we'll finish with the wave 1, wave 2, then over here is 1 2, sorry, WX, then go 1 2 3 4 and 5. Okay, so that's how I think it's going to be, probably like so. Okay, and then we would expect dollar to form a top, and then along with dollar Swissy chart we would also get another top in that area, so we'll get like a double top going in, and in which case it would be like an expanded flat. So I'll leave it at that. I think I'm a little bit uncertain about the Swissy, and in fact that Swissy pound chart also is causing me a lot of confusion. So we'll spend some time on other charts that are giving us a bit more clarity. I'm going to explain something here about Aussie dollar, because I think there is a trade that I have highlighted to you earlier. We had a bottom here where we had price moving from somewhere higher up there on the left, top left corner, came down, formed a low, and then we've done A, B and C. Either A, B and C is complete, or what we have is we got minor A, B and C. Okay, so we've got two possibilities: minor A, B and C to give us capital A in bracket, ABC down to give us capital B in bracket, and we are now going to do another A, B and C to the upside. Okay, so that could be possibility, and if that is case, then I think what we're getting here is that we've got this wave A, and we are now retracing for this wave A. We're retracing for wave B. We're retracing for wave B. Okay, so that's one possibility. If we are retracing for wave B, then we have what looks like to be a triangle. Then the way we would interpret that triangle is that we had the first wave down as wave A, then we've got this wave B is actually over here. So we've got wave A, B and C to give us wave A in double bracket, wave B in double bracket. Okay, and then now we should be getting 5 wave to the downside. So that's one possibility. So in that possible situation, we would have had A, B, C to give us wave A in double bracket. Then we've got A, B and C to give us another zigzag like a flat. So we should expect 5 wave to the downside, and in which case we would expect 5 wave, and in that process we have already been developing this first wave to the downside. So if that first wave is soon complete, then we'll get a retracement wave 2, and then we should have a wave 3, and in that process we will get a larger 5 wave to the downside with a view that will be retracing this leg, and in which case we could come to something like 85. You know, if it is 50%, if it is 38%, then we'll come to something like 91.80 or 90.92 or something. Okay, before heading up higher. So that one possibility. And the other possibility is to say that this one is A, B and C as a wave, small wave A, ABC back as a small wave B, and then ABC up as a small wave C. So we've got A, B and C zigzag up. Now we should get A, B and C zigzag down here, and then a final leg up, and in which case we might get a deeper retracement, because then we're not only retracing this leg but we're retracing the entire move, and then the 50% could bring us something like here. So there we had a potential resistance, so now that could give us a potential support around 80 level and then go up. So either we will drop down to somewhere around 85 and go up, or we'll drop down to 80 and then go up. Okay, and you know, it will take a while, but my first option and the one with the least complication or the least bearishness is that we have only retracing this leg. So we get ABC down, we come down to somewhere over here, 85 level maybe, or even a bit higher, around 91.60 level. That's the least bearish one, and in which case we would like there. Okay, and then we would complete this wave A, wave B, and wave C. So we would have had A, B, and then we'll be going for leg C, which will retest the high or make another small higher high, or maybe even make significant higher high. We won't know. Okay, but at the moment, in either of those three scenarios, we are expecting a decline, and the decline commonly, if you look at the width of the triangle, then you would be able to put that width of the triangle from where it breaks out. So we'll be looking for a potential decline to at least 85.50, or maybe a little bit lower down to 80. Okay, 85.50. So where I've got this turquoise triangle. So what that suggests is the Aussie dollar is a sell, and in that sell, so far we appear to have almost completed 5 waves to the downside. So we've got wave 1, wave 2, this one here possibly wave 3, then we've got a very strange looking sideway reaction. So we've got A, then A, B, C as the B, and then another C. So this created a wave 4 possibly, and then this one here is creating the final leg. So we go 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Okay, so this here I think is a 5-wave cycle. So now we should expect wave A, wave B, and wave C, and it would appear that, you know, we've got ABC up, ABC down. So should we be expecting another leg up, in which case Aussie can get relatively strong for a few days and then come down, or we are still in a process of completing the downside, in which case this is how I would count it: 1, 2, and then we got 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Okay, so in other words, we would count it from there to here. And that looks highly probable. So in which case we would have this one down as wave 1, wave 2, then all of this up to here is wave 3, and then what we're expecting is we've already had this ABC up, ABC down. So we expect another leg up to complete for wave 1, 2, 3. So this 3 here comes to there, then we've got this wave 4 coming into here, and then we expect another leg down to complete that wave 5. Okay, so that would suggest that quite possibly Aussie can prove a little bit more stronger against the dollar. This 1, 2, then 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5 would be finished. And there is no other way of counting. This is the there is no other way of counting that. And then if you look at the RSI on daily chart, we are producing minor divergence, but not a big massive one. So Aussie dollar chart a little bit in a shorter term is a little bit complicated. However, what I am expecting is we might get um, the other thing to remember is that we've had, it's all very well in saying that we had this wave 1, wave 2, if this is wave 3, all very well in saying that this is wave currently 4, but even in the fifth wave, what we might have in the fifth wave is that starting from here we've got wave 1, this will be wave 2, and we may well be in a wave 3 formation, in which case OZ will start selling off next week. How can you confirm this? See, this one here is clearly ABC, in the sense that this is A, B and C with 1, 2, 3, 4 and 5. So it's ABC up, and then from there we start looking at it, and we've got wave 1, wave 2, you see what we might have here is possibly this kind of a thing. Okay, so let me change the color of that to say a blue color. Okay, so what we might have is that we've got this as the wave 1, this is the wave 2, and this might be just beginning of the next third wave to the downside. So we might have wave 1 down, small retracement, and then continued sell-off. Because I think the euro is going to be strong, for a few more days next week. I suspect that Aussie dollar cannot really significantly gain strength against until dollar has topped, and other currencies also begin to start strengthening against the dollar. Just trying to see if there's any other angle to this. 1, 2, then 1, 2, 3, 4 and 5. I think I would be, this trend line is okay because it's like any other trend line. Whether it will actually play out or not is difficult to tell. We've not been helped by these complex overlapping waves here. So if this is 1, this is 2, if this is 3, then we are trying to retrace for 4, and in the 4 we've got wave A here, then all of this might well be expanded flat wave B. So in that case we've got possibly something like this maybe. So in that case we've got wave A, then you've got A, B and C. A, B and C, in which case we've got this doesn't look like a B. This A, B and C, A. Okay, I think it may be that this is what we got. This way, yeah, this is probably what we got. Okay, so what we've got here is we've got 1, 2, this one here is 3, like that, then we've got A, B and C is the wave 4, and then this one now is finishing wave 5. I think that looks more like it. Finishing wave 5, and in the wave 5 we've got possibly this falling wedge pattern, and in the falling wedge pattern we've got 1, 2, 3, 4 and a 5, and a 5 is an ending diagonal. Okay, so in an ending diagonal we would then complete that, and then we would start rallying, doing ABC retracement to the upside, and there may be a bit more room yet left for completing this. If you look at it in this piece here, then maybe we haven't got this ending diagonal. Maybe what we've got, if it is an ending diagonal, then we've got this as a 1, 2, 3, and currently retracing for 4, and then we'll come down for 5, and this thing might change a little bit. Okay, so we may then do a retracement like that, and then finally come down for the last leg, and we would then find it is creating something like that. So I think that is probably more likely than other possibilities, is that we are in a final leg down which is also got an ending diagonal, and we should form that by the time the dollar tops. So if the dollar tops Monday, Tuesday, then this one will somehow complete that also. So Aussie dollar sideways to downside for early part of the week, then the dollar will top and start weakening, and then Aussie will do a retracement, just like some of the other US dollar pairs will do a retracement. Okay, so Aussie is still weak, but longer term, intermediate term, Aussie is going to be weak, and it's going to be at least coming down to 90, somewhere around here, 96 over here, 98, or no, sorry, this horizontal area here, which is about 94.50 area, or we might get much larger 5-wave move down to bring us to much lower level. But it is weak, and intermediate term it is a sell on retracement. So now I would wait until this sequence of 5-wave is over. I would wait for it then to retrace back up, and I would look to short it when we retrace it back to something in the region of 1.04, for example, 1.03 to 1.04 area, or maybe a little bit higher. So that would be the area where I'll be looking possibly to consider short. Okay, Aussie, New Zealand, very much like the Aussie, that also has had similar ABC retracement up. So again, the same overall concept, in that we've either finished the top and we are now traveling all the way down, and I don't think that has started yet. So what we've got here is we've got A, B, and we are working on a C, and in the C we've got this A, B and C. We are going to be retracing, A, B and C as the capital A, then we go to capital B, and then we are looking for this A, B and C to come over here. Okay, so we've got like wave A, ABC back as wave B, and we'll be going up for wave C to complete this one. Okay, and when we look at it on a shorter time scale, then just like the Aussie dollar, this one also had A, B and C as the wave A, B and C as the wave B. Now we should be expecting 5-wave to the downside. So New Zealand dollar also, like the Aussie dollar, is in a process, but the New Zealand dollar has only just started its leg down, whereas the Aussie dollar has already retraced quite a bit, or have already started developing the downtrend quite a bit, but the New Zealand dollar has only just started. So I'm expecting longer term New Zealand dollar also either to drop to this sort of level, 7150, or maybe a much larger 5 wave down probably bring us to about 63, 60, 66 to 63 area. That's the Aussie New Zealand dollar. Okay, pound, sorry, US dollar yen. US dollar yen. Now the US dollar yen has been a bit of a pain in that it seemed to be confusing us, although now it doesn't look very much confusing, in a sense that we've got this, I think here 1, 2 and 3. So we've had that 3, then we had this triangle wave 4, and then this final drive up. So maybe what we've got overall is that either we have this 1, 2, 3, 4 and 5 to give us a complete wave 3. So if you drop down to 4 hour, then we have this wave 3 in bracket, then we've got expanded flat B, we've got A, B, C, D, E, you see, or wave A, and then we've got A, B, C, D. No, it doesn't work. A, this one A, then we've got A, B, C as the B, and then finally leg C to, no, it doesn't work. Why am I confused? You got wave A, okay, so there is a degree of triangle there, but it's not very brilliant. So I think what we have here is wave A, B, C, D and E, and in that triangle happened in wave 4. So wave 3, wave 4, and then this gap finished is a wave 5. So if that is a wave 5, then we have already no, it's not, sorry, okay, my apologies. Yeah, wave 3, triangle wave 4, and if this is 5, then we've already done ABC sharp decline of this. So this one wave forms a wave 5, and that also forms a wave 3, in which case we have possibly here as wave 4, and then we have started on the next leg up, so we should be almost looking to retest the high, or maybe make another minor high like 95 or so, or maybe 95, or even more than that. Okay, so currently this is what we're doing. So we're in a 5th leg up, and if I was to draw, you see, because we've started off this way, it's a bit difficult to draw a proper trend line. This here you can just about make is possible rising wedge. So I would suspect that this strong up is wave 1, this retracement is a wave 2. Okay, so if I put numbers on, this one is possibly minor 1, then we got minor 2, then we got leading diagonal. So this one here becomes wave 1, wave 2, currently in wave 3. Whenever that's finished, we'll get a 4 and a 5. So if I draw lines on, then we're going to get this sort of thing, and I'll put a blue color on there, so we'll get something like that. So here we have wave 1, wave 2, then we got 1, 2, 3, 4 and 5. So that will then give us a wave 3. We'll get retracement for wave 4, and then finally we'll get wave 5. but that wave 5 will only create wave 3. See, 1 2, then you go 1 2 3 4 and 5 to give us 3, retracement 4, and this one 5. Okay, so this is what we will probably get, something like that, and in the process retest the high or make a new higher high. Once that's complete, then we'll be looking for a much deeper retracement, because we've got 1 2 3 4 and we are in the final 5th leg up. Okay, so from that perspective it is very strong at the moment, and today in particular dollar was very strong, and then that also made a difference with this particular pair. You can draw this minor trend line in this particular manner using this low here, then just about plotting this line to pick up like so. Okay, and then applying that line on the top somewhere around there. We might actually find that it's going to be much steeper than that. We might find that it's going to be more steeper than that, like so, like that. Okay, because here we had 1, we had 2, and this much stronger will probably then take the prices probably fairly high as well. Something like that, but we'll be guided by some further price action. Once we have that on our chart, we'll be able to see. But basically yen is going to be weak, and US dollar is going to be strong next week, at least early part of the week, while dollar is going to reach, dollar index going to reach to 83 area. Yen will be very weak and it will make a run to the upside. Okay, so that's US dollar yen. Then the other currency we're going to look at is a pound. Now the pound has actually dropped quite significantly, and it is still within the realms of possibility of what I have been expecting, but obviously the more it drops, the less certain we are. But until for example we get this low taken out, which is the low around 142.40 area, there is still a possibility of me saying that this is A, B and C zigzag A. Then we've got this A, B over here, and we are currently in a wave C, and in the wave C potentially from this low to that low we have a divergence on the RSI potentially. I'm saying that because until we get RSI drop below this low, we are still potentially getting into a divergence form. And in terms of the wave counts, which has been quite difficult, but this here is A, B and C, so I can call that W, then A, B and C back as X, and then we are in a final leg down. And in a final leg down, what we have here possibly is see, here we had A, B, C, so here too we got A, B, and then we are in a C form, so we got 1 2, then this is 3, this is retracement 4, and we are currently forming wave 5. And then on this 4-hour chart you can see also that from wave 3 to wave 4 and wave 5 we do have a divergence also. So I think potentially we are in an area where potential bottom could be formed. Um, if you look at it in a 4-hour chart or even on 30-minute chart, then we had a gap down open, wave 3, then we retraced ABC up to wave 4, and now we're in a final leg 5, and I think this one here you can see is wave 1 and possibly wave 2 here. Then you got 1, 2, 3, 4 and 5, so that's 1, 2 and 3, so maybe that's complete 3 ABC retracement and maybe one more down. So maybe what we will have is A, B and C like so, and then maybe one more sell-off next week will probably complete that, or we already have the bottom in the center. This is 1, then we got A, B and C as wave 2, this one is 3, 4 and 5, in which case we have formed the bottom. So either we will get a retest of the bottom, retest of today's bottom, or we already have a bottom. The dollar index going to continue strengthening, so even the pound will probably struggle against that. So my feeling is that we will get a retest of the bottom, or maybe even make another minor lower low. Maybe so we should be getting to something like 140. See, we've already done 149.80, so we could come down to something like 149.50 as kind of a round number. So the pound will still be under pressure next week, at least against the dollar, even though maybe with the others it might be there or thereabout, maybe sideways retracement kind of a thing, but against the dollar I think might weaken a bit more before going up. But we need dollar to actually bottom to add credence and confidence to our trade we are trying to stoke long on the pound Canada or pound New Zealand or pound Aussie, and we'll have a look at that in a moment. This one is a euro. So now understanding what's happening with the dollar index, then you can see on here I have used the alternative pivot I tried to explain yesterday. So I've used here the low back in January 2012, and then again the high on 18th of June 2012. So it's alternate pivot, and then that interestingly had price test on that one. On the break above, came back and tested it, then we saddle across it, we broke back up and we tested it again, and I think we're going to come back into that line. That's the line you see here, which is the blue line. Okay, now at the same time I think we've got A, B and C, so it's give us the wave A in capital. We've now retraced back also in A, B and C to give us wave B in capital, and then we'll be looking basically to start making the room, movement to the upside. But whilst the dollar is also going to top, there is possibility of more weakness on the pound, on the euro. So far I think we've got this W, X, Y, X, Z, so like a 5-wave swing to wave A in bracket, then we go wave B in bracket, and then we should have 5-wave swing just like here, 1, 2, 3, 4, and we're currently in the process of developing that 5-wave swing. Okay, so if you then drop down to 1 hour, then on 1 hour it looks like we've got wave 1, wave 2, wave 3, this currently in a wave 4, and we should at least, nothing else, we should at least get a drive to the downside. That would probably complete the wave 5. So we'd finish up with a swing 1, 2, 3, 4 and 5. Okay, so there is still weakness on the euro potentially to develop next week. Overall, you got, if you count the actual swing, you got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. So 11 swings would complete double zigzag, which is what we are trying to say here. Okay, so I am expecting a low to form on the euro. We may get another drive down next week. We could get, I'm expecting we got this brown line coming in, some fib retracements coming in, and also the 50% retracement of the entire rise from July low to this February high. That comes in around 129 and 70 or 129.50. So I'm looking for basically bottom to be formed 129.50, 129.70. Okay, on the euro. And then once we've done that, then if the pound then begins to make a new downtrend, then we will get another leg up. So we're going to get ABC up. So this one here could become wave X, and we'll get another ABC up to the upside, which would take euro to significantly higher level. But we need to see the bottom first of all form and hold. And on the RSI, you can see on the daily, we're just about forming like a minor divergence. So if you get another price drive down on Monday or Tuesday, we should see possibly divergence developing on here. So we were expecting Aussie dollar to be weak, and we would probably expect the same time euro to be weak to some extent or some degree, like the pound. So I think there is general across the board, most US currency pairs are going to be weak for the at least first part of the week. Okay, pound, euro, and Canada has been very, very weak, and in terms of retracement, unlike the dollar index, which has done or is approaching 76%, 78%, this one has almost retraced, not quite, almost retraced 88%. And that you can see is done wave A, 5 wave down, wave A, B, and C to the upside. ABC down, and then we got another ABC up to the zigzag, so A, B, and C. So we're on a final leg up, 1, 2, 3. So if you look at this one here, 1, 2, I think this is 3, 4, and 5. And in the 5, this is wave 5. Okay, now in the 5, I would have thought that this was wave 3, then we got ABC down to the wave 4, and then we're looking for 5 wave up, and in a 5 wave we were looking for possible ending diagonal. Now we've not had an ending diagonal, so we can't then assume an ending diagonal. Okay, so maybe we've got wave A or wave 1, then you've got A, B, and C, like that, like an expanded flat. So 1, 2, and then in which case we'll see 3, 4, and 5 to the upside. So in which case we are going to get much higher prices for the Canada. It's a bit difficult to reconcile, but that's what it seems to be happening. So if I just go back to the other side, because this is 1, this is 2, this is 3, 4, and then we're working on the next 5 leg. So the next 5, you see if this one is approximately that. I almost like to feel that is finished, but it's not, because really, see if you see this is 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5, and it almost looks like it's finished. And if it is, if the Canada has finished, then Canada will be the first currency pair to start showing relative strength against the US dollar, simply because it has been so weak. But when you get these big spikes like this, is really sort of messes the chart up, and you try and focus, but you don't. See, it's 1 2, and then you've got 3 4 and 5, 1 2. Then you might have not very clear, 1 2 is not clear. I think we've got an expanded flat. I think this is 1, then this is A, B and C as an expanded flat, and I think dollar Canada is still going to continue higher for quite a bit. I think we might even finish up almost retesting this high. Can't really see why, but we might almost get there. There's nothing else really to guide us other than the horizontal level at the moment. So if we take away the 78% now, so clear the charts up a little bit, so we're expecting a top in that area, at around 88, and then some of the Fibonacci retracement will probably have to rework. There is at 88, there is one is an 88.6% retracement. Then if you project this first zigzag up from here, then we're getting 127% coming into that area. So there is some confluence in that area. It's just a question of finding how the 5 waves are going to be completed there. Okay, so I think there is further weakness for the Canadian dollar, and therefore US dollar Canada will continue higher, but we are a little bit unclear in this final wave here how it's going to develop. It might be that it will have a complete 5 waves. So if this is 1, this is 2, we come 3 4 and 5 like that. So we may actually finish up a top not at 1.035, but maybe almost going into 1.04. That's where I think it'd be almost like 100% retracement of the decline that it had back in July to September. So dollar Swissy and dollar Canada still a little bit uncertain, but nevertheless we do expect weakness on those currency pairs against the dollar. Okay, that is all. I think our session has gone on for quite long, so I'll conclude this one here, and I'll post the recording out as soon as it's ready. And then, as usual, any comments or questions, please let me know. Contact me by either an email or a Skype, and I will clarify or address the issue on Monday. So in the meantime, wish you all a wonderful weekend, and look forward to you joining me again on a Monday. So I'll stop the recording here. Thank you very much.